Thank you, Grat. 2 quick points. We will finish 12:30, maybe 2 minutes after, but I will keep us on time. Secondly, at the top of your table are handouts. Does anyone not have a handout? Missing one? So there's a full set there. So it's not a questionnaire. If you want to take notes, you're welcome to take notes. If you want the PowerPoint slides after, give me your business card. I'll email them to you after. There's not much to write down from the slides, but if you have your own points you want to write down, feel free to do so. There's 4 objectives for today. One is to understand the power of promotional products, the POP. 2, I'll bring the concept of environmental nudges to you. I'll explain that later on. 3rd, I'll explain to you how your mind remembers, and in particular, how it pertains to remembering brands on promotional products. Lastly, and most importantly, all this information is so that you can explain to your customers how and why promotional products work. I want to take you back to the year 2000, the Consumer Electronics Show, and the story of the Microsoft $1 Million Mug. So imagine yourself. You're in Las Vegas, the Consumer Electronics Show. It's the year 2000. The keynote speaker that year, Larry Ellison, who is the CEO of Oracle, the giant software company. Now, one thing you need to know about Oracle and Microsoft are arch rivals. They hate each other. They compete head-to-head on database solutions for their customers. They're like Coke and Pepsi. They're like Star Wars and Star Trek. So imagine yourself in the auditorium. Larry Ellison is about to walk in and give his keynote address at the Consumer Electronics Show that year. You see Larry come in the room. He's holding a Microsoft mug. He storms up to the front of the room, to the lectern, and he denounces the mug. This Microsoft mug is ridiculous. Oracle is the fastest, the best, the most reliable database solution you have. Microsoft cannot compete. What has Larry Ellison so mad about a very simple, very plain Microsoft mug? It's not so much that it's a Microsoft mug, it's what's on the second side that's got him so mad. And I'll show you that in a few moments. A typical database solution back in the year 2000 costs about $5 million. Now, Oracle was known as the best solution. They were also the most expensive. Microsoft was usually a little bit less expensive by about $1 million. So you have to imagine being in a Microsoft sales and marketing meeting, and a Microsoft sales rep is sharing a story about calling on a customer. I went to see a customer about a database solution. I knew I was the first salesperson in, and the Oracle salesperson was following me up. I sat down with the customer, talked about the Microsoft solution, and I left that customer a Microsoft-branded promotional product. I called the customer a few days later. I said to them, so I showed you our database solutions. Are you going to go with Microsoft? The customer said to me, no, we're going to go with Oracle, but hey, thank you so much. You saved me $1 million. The Oracle salesperson saw the Microsoft promotional product and they dropped their prices. Light bulbs are going off in the marketing people in that room. There's an idea here, and so became the Microsoft mug. Here's what they did. Yes, on one side, a very boring, and in my opinion, not a very well-branded mug, pretty plain. Here's the brilliance. I'll read it to you first, and then I'll show you it on the screen. Instructions for usage. Step 1, place mug prominently on your desk. Step 2, when Oracle salesperson pitches $5 million of overpriced software, glance down at mug. Step 3, Oracle salesperson spots the mug, offers 20% discount. Step 4, skip steps 2 and 3 and call Microsoft instead, save millions, and get the industry's highest performance enterprise solution with no bitter aftertaste. They also had a custom branded URL so you could go to the site and read more about the whole campaign. Someone said it, absolutely brilliant. A little bit of creativity, brilliant delivery, and I'll share that part to you in a second, made this a very successful campaign. What Microsoft did, they had 2,000 of these mugs made for the Consumer Electronics Show that year. They hired temps to stand at the doors of the auditorium and hand out mugs to people as they walked in. Security saw this, had nothing of it, kicked them out of the conference. The temps went on the street and handed out mugs to people. And you have to imagine Larry Ellison steps out of his limousine and gets a mug in his hand. Newspapers from New York to London picked this story up, and it gave Microsoft, they estimate, well over $1 million of free news and media coverage. Absolutely brilliant. This is not my story. I didn't do this campaign, unfortunately, but I share the story with you to illustrate the power of promotional products. A little creativity, brilliant delivery, amazing campaign. Like, how simple is this? It's a $2 on a C coffee mug, or maybe even less these days, I don't know. It's absolutely brilliant. Here's a phrase to take away from this. Creativity in the promotion sets the brand in motion. Creativity in the promotion sets the brand in motion. Microsoft definitely set their brand in motion with this stunt that they pulled at the show that year. I'm going to shift gears for a second and do an exercise with you. What you're going to see are 30 images in 30 seconds. So I've gone on Google, I have found 30 random images, put them into the slideshow. An image will go on the screen for 1 second, and the next one will show. Your job, remember each image. Yes, there will be a test later on. Everyone clear on the instructions? 30 images, 30 seconds, they're going to go. Ready? Here we go. Remember them all. Who can remember all of them? 70, oh, okay, maybe. 75%? A couple hands. 50%, half of them. Okay, room's pretty confident. 25%? Okay, not seeing a lot of confidence out there. We'll do a test later on after some time goes by. Environmental nudges is what I'm going to share next with you. The concept of environmental nudges comes from an author by the name of Dan Ariely. This is one of his, not his recent book, but a more recent book called Payoff. All about motivation is a really good read. He's also been on TED Talks. If you want to go watch his TED Talk, also really interesting as well. Dan Ariely is the professor of psychology and behavioral economics at Duke University. Here's my favorite part. He is the founder of the Center for Advanced Hindsight. Another brilliant marketing term there. So what Dan Ariely and his group did, they wanted to study motivation, and in particular, motivation on saving money. So they went to a slum in Kenya called Kibera. They partnered with a bank, and they wanted to help these people who are very poor save money. But not save money how you and I would save money. They're not saving for retirement. These people are saving money so that if their livestock or their farming ability, which is their typical livelihood, if they have a goat that goes missing or dies that day, they can go to the bank, go into their savings, and provide for their family for that day if something happens. So what Dan Ariely and his group did, they ran a couple tests to see how well could these people save money. It was a 24-week study, and they produced results at the end of the week. So like any good study, one group was the control group. They told these people, we want you to save money, no incentive, just save money for 24 weeks and report the findings to us at the end of this study. Another group was offered 10%. So at the end of every week, if you save money, we will give you 10% on the money you saved. Pretty good, right? Better than the stock market. They gave another group 20%. We will give you 20% on your money every week that you save. There were a third and fourth group that were offered 10 and 20% on their money, but they offered the money to them at the start of the week. So we'll give you the money now. If you save throughout the week, you can keep that money at the end of the week. So like a loss aversion. Don't want to lose what you already have. Another group was given a personalized text message. So it said, "Hello, Mom or Dad. Please deposit as much money as you can this week to our savings plan for our future. Thank you for saving your son or daughter." So personalized text message. The last group, they were given a coin with some instructions. We want you to take this coin, put it in your hut where the whole family can see it. At the end of every week, if you save money, we want you to scratch that number for that week. If you didn't save money, you don't scratch the coin. 2 questions for you. Based on what you see here, what would motivate you the most to save money? Shout it out. 20%, 20%. Anything else? Yeah. In my cold, money-hungry heart, 20% on my money? Are you kidding me? That would motivate me to save money. Second question. In the study, what do you think yielded the best amounts of saving? Coin. The texts. Interesting. Okay. So I'm here sharing this with you. You know something's up, right? Okay. Here are the results. As expected, the no incentive group, they saved money, not a whole bunch. Next, the 10%, the 20%, the loss aversion 10 and 20%, and the personalized text message all saved just about the same amount of money. More than the no control group, but all about the same. The landslide winner, coin. Almost double. These are in shillings, whatever a shilling equates to. In a 24-week period, the coin got the highest results of savings. We'll go back for a second. Why the coin? Tangible. In your face, constantly reminding you. Anything else you can take away from this revelation, if I can say that? Could you say that the coins are the best promotional products? Faro, AT Designs, Expressions, and CNJ would like me to say that. The coin's not the point. The coin. In your face, you're seeing it. The instructions were, take the coin, put it in your hut, at the end of every week, scratch it off. The whole family could see the coin. People also interacted with the coin. So Dan Arielyna's group brings up the concept of environmental nudges, reminders. So think about this. In your daily lives, how often are you reminded to save money? How many times a day is an advertising message telling you to save money? Yes, ING has their theme, save your money. And yes, we're coming into RRSP time. Maybe your accountant, financial planner might mention to you, save some money. But how many times are you told to save money in a given day? Compared to how many times on a given day are you asked to spend your money? How many marketing messages, Facebook ads, holy smokes. So the concept of environmental nudges. Promotional products are environmental nudges. We can give people something that they can put in their office, on their desk, in their home, in their car, on their phone, on their person, that reminds them of the brand or the messaging on that product. Promotional products are environmental nudges, and we are a very, very powerful form of marketing. Before I test your memory, any comments, thoughts? I'm also looking for feedback. If you want to challenge what you see up here, ask a question, please do. I want to see what this group thinks about this concept.
Not challenge, this question. What did they have to scratch with the coin? I didn't get that.
It's whatever they had, a knife or, it just, come in, even probably the ballpoint pen, scratch the coin. It was, they had to scratch numbers. So there's numbers on, 24 numbers, 12, 12. Gotcha. Okay. Anything else? Okay, you can keep asking questions later on. So let's go back to the test. Some time has gone by. How confident are you that you can nail all these? Okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to see an image you've seen before, and also a new image will be on the screen. As a group, I want you to yell out, left, left, or right, which is the image you've seen before. Got it? New image, old image, new image you haven't seen before, image you've seen before, left or right, as a group, what side is it on? Ready?
Right.
Yes.
Left.
Yes.
Left.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Left.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Left.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Left.
Pretty tough, but yes. Last one.
Left.
Yes. You saw 30 images flash by in 30 seconds, yet you knew which ones you've seen before, which ones you didn't. Are you a little surprised? No? Okay. How come? Whoever said no. What's that? Okay. Okay. Fair enough. So this exercise and this concept I learned from Dan Rome. Dan Rome was a presenter at the Art of Sales that the PPPC sponsored 2012 or so, give or take. So this is where this concept and this demonstration came from. Dan Rome has a couple books. I'll plug him here. Really interesting books. Dan Rome's whole concept is on using pictures in our sales presentations and also a presentation much like this. So that's the last part I'll mention about Dan Rome. So two takeaways from this. One is how your memory works. So think about a baby. Babies don't have language, right? They don't know English or French yet. All a baby knows is there's these two people who stand over them, take care of them, feed them. It's only later on the baby understands, oh, this is mom, and this is dad. So babies don't have words, they only work in pictures. It's only later on that you associate the picture you see with what the word is in whatever language is yours. Second takeaway. And I'll explain the second takeaway by using the example of a travel mug. So picture your favorite travel mug, travel tumbler, water bottle, whatever it is. You wake up in the morning, you come downstairs, you take that travel mug out of the cupboard, you see the branding. You take your coffee, you fill the travel mug up with the coffee, you see the branding. You take that mug into your car, onto transit, every time you're taking a sip, you see the branding. It goes into your office, you see the branding. You take it home and wash it that night, you see the branding. Every time you see that branding, your mind is taking a little snapshot, a little picture of that brand on that travel mug, that lanyard, that pen, whatever it is. So follow me here. Every time your mind takes a snapshot of that brand, it goes into your memory. Every time your mind takes more pictures of that brand, every time it sees it, that picture in your mind becomes a little bit stronger. The stronger the brand picture is, the less foreign it becomes, the more familiar it is to you. The more familiar the brand is to you, the more likable that brand becomes. This is how, in my opinion, all advertising works. Whether we see a TV commercial, a newspaper ad, a promotional product, a social media ad, every time we see an ad, our mind takes a little picture of it. Promotional products are different from all other forms of advertising. I think it was this table that said, or maybe it was back here, there's something tangible about what we do, right? And you've heard this before. Our minds take impressions every time we see an ad, whether it's on whatever form of media. An impression to me is like a brand picture in the memory. Television ads, who watches TV still and watches the commercials? PVR'd, right? Oh, okay, some do. Some like live TV. Super Bowl ads, yeah, I'm watching those. For watching TV, we might change the channel, we might PVR shows. Radio, well, there's satellite radio now, right? No commercials. Newspaper ads, you could just flip by them. Social media posts, scroll through them. Facebook changed their algorithm, whatever that means. I'm not quite sure yet. Who here has an ad blocker on their Chrome browser or their desktop or cell phone? Ad blocker. What does an ad blocker do? Interesting. So you can get an ad blocker to skip the ads. But promotional products. In our homes, at our desks, in our cars, on our person, on our phones, we can place our form of advertising in an environment where people can see it all the time. The more they see the branding or the messaging on that item, the more their mind takes a picture of it, the stronger it becomes, the more they like the brand. I'll leave you with this phrase. Creating a brand picture makes the brand a permanent fixture. The subtext being in your mind. Creating a brand picture makes the brand a permanent fixture in your mind. So that's also on your handout. You can write it down, but it's also on the handout. I want to pause for a moment. Questions? I can plug someone in this room. There's a very good book on sensory media. It's good to pick up and take a read of it. So yeah, absolutely. Jay, can you speak on that for like 1 minute? So sensory media, why is it important? Why is it different from other forms of media? If I can put you on the spot. Yeah.
I don't want to speak with my thoughts it is totally supporting everything that you say that because we're sensory beings, what Bryson was saying about when we were kids and our subconscious mind is wide open, so everything that is coming to us is coming through our senses. So all the pictures and all the impressions and everything is creating our conditioning, creating who we are. So what we do with promotional products is the more interactive, the more senses they hit, the more of an impression, the more impact we make, and the more memorable that the sensory media become. Yeah.
Thank you. So again, very good book, and Jay, you should be presenting at these seminars. Other questions, thoughts, comments? Anything on your mind after hearing all this? If I could, just at your tables, just 2 minutes, could your table just talk amongst yourselves about what's the key concept or takeaway that you've just seen from all this? Just take 2 minutes, just don't write it down, just amongst your table, key concept or key takeaway that you have from this session so far. Okay, so I'll bring you all back in. Just any table, not every table, but if your table has a great idea, comment, or takeaway from this, do you mind sharing it with the group in the room?
I would say that based on that Microsoft example, the product is irrelevant. That what's most relevant is the messaging and the connectivity of the message. That's the thing that engages.
Absolutely, and sorry for the camera, I should have had the microphone on him. Everyone hear that? Everyone heard that? Good. Product, absolutely irrelevant. Doesn't matter if it's a coin or a mug. If you could say that last part again.
Yeah, it's just that the messaging and the connectivity to the piece is the thing that engages people.
The messaging and the connectivity of the piece is what engages people. Back table?
We sort of talked about how...
Sorry, one second.
We sort of talked about, if you look at all the logos, they're really easy to remember because they're incredibly simple. And if you've looked at the transition of marketing and in terms of promo, in terms of logo design, in terms of branding, like you talked about branding, you can see the actual transition of how they went from the best is going actually to Microsoft. If you look at their marketing campaign from back on the original, like we're talking Windows 95, it's like this crazy window flying through, like, remember that space? And now it's just, what, 4 squares? What are you most likely to remember? Crazy window that's gradients, which is also, a pain to produce if you want to put that on promo, or 4 simple squares. So if you looked at all the logos we look at, they're all super minimalistic, and that also triggers memory. You're more likely to remember something simple, refined, and clean than a wall of text.
That's a great point. So on that, on the images exercise, I was once asked if we went to unknown brands, like a local law firm here in the Toronto area, do you think your retention of that image would be stronger or not as strong as a major brand? Not as strong. Interesting. Because I've heard someone say it's more unique. I haven't seen it before. It would stand out to me more. So, interesting. So this room thought, no, if I put unique brands up there you probably aren't familiar with, you wouldn't remember them. Okay, interesting.
One of them I didn't recognize, and I couldn't tell you right now. I remember saying, I don't recognize that brand, but I
Okay.
I don't know what the S was. That was like the 2 orange things next to it. But I still remember what the logo looks like. I just don't know what the logo is.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So just getting back to,
I was just going to say the difference too is that the larger brands spend millions on brand identity and a law firm wouldn't.
true. Yeah. So the larger brands have way bigger budgets. They can spend millions and millions and millions. A smaller local law firm, not as much. Okay. So just getting back to what your table took away from this session. Anyone else want to share?
Well, we were talking about something like the travel mug. You want that thing to last because you want those impressions over weeks and months. So we talked about the importance of quality and choosing a product that is going to last, and also that poor quality will reflect negatively on your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe one more table. No? Okay. Get some exercise here.
We're 2 reps in the industry, and we just feel that promotional products really deliver the best ROI versus any other media out there. And so you really get the best bang for your buck with promotional products.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I know you're talking to the converted here already, but yes. So before I close, any other questions, thoughts, comments? If you have a thought after this, something that conflicts with what you've seen up here, any feedback, blunt, brutal, honest feedback, I'd love to hear from you. How we can make this presentation better and this information more out there. I believe that, one second. There we go. So in this room, I'm going to guess we're mostly distributors, but there are some reps, maybe some suppliers. We all have a job to educate our buyers on this. So if you're a supplier, educating your reps and your distributors. If you're a distributor, educating our customers on why promotional products are the best choice for marketing dollars. You've heard a lot of ideas in this room. Sensory media, impressions, simple branding works. You don't have to have $1 million marketing budget. As a small firm, you can spend a few hundred to a few thousand on promotional products or other multimedia put together and have a very effective campaign. I mean, think back to the Microsoft campaign. Yeah, Microsoft is a really big company. A simple coffee mug delivered such a powerful message. Each of us can do this in our daily lives with our customers. So just in summary, we create environmental nudges, products with branding and messaging that go into people's homes, offices, on their person, etc., that they see and interact with on a daily basis. The more people see and use that product with the branding on it, the stronger the memory picture of that brand becomes. The stronger that brand becomes in their mind, the more brand familiarity they get, and ultimately, the stronger brand liking. 3 takeaways from this. Creativity in the promotion sets the brand in motion. Think back to the Microsoft mug. Creative branding, creative delivery, brilliant campaign. Environmental nudges, that's what promotional products really are. Products in our homes that we see and use on a daily basis. Lastly, creating a brand picture makes the brand a permanent fixture. Our promotional products carry brands, our minds take pictures of them, and it goes into our memory. And that's why promotional products are so very powerful. Thank you all. This has been the science and psychology of promotional products.